set. And we are live. Sweet, sweet. Thank you so much for joining us today. We are on the later side, but Talking High Culture is present. If you are joining us, please leave a like, follow, subscribe, however you're watching this.
One of these.
Yeah, give us a thumbs up or favor.
Share us, tell your friends, tell your family, tell everyone.
Yeah, tell everybody.
Literally, tell random people you see on the street, just like, hey, you heard of Talking High Culture? They're like, no,
Please.
I like,
Please.
damn, you just walk away.
Yeah. Tell your doctor, right? They're the ones that need to know. I've been seeing this podcast, Talking High Culture.
Speaking of, like, I was smoking this weed, and, like, I heard off this podcast that they were telling me, like, this Talking High Culture guys were saying that's good weed for this. Like, what do you think, doctor? Because they're recommending smoking that over.
Yeah, you're in therapy, and your therapist is like, damn, Ricky, like, you seem like you're doing a lot better, bro. Like, what's up? What did you change? Or it's like, well, I just really... been watching this new podcast called Talking High Culture, and it's literally fixed all my problems.
Exactly that, right? So please join us, and we'll fix all your problems, All right. No, but for real, thank you for joining us. We're going ahead and starting off smoking. Actually, before we got live, I took a walrus hit of these two guys.
Those conkers, y'all missed it.
Yeah, I didn't even post it to the story. I ended up posting Chris's bong rip, right? Yeah. Not that one right there, obviously, because I got nothing to post that with.
But it was a nice one.
It was nice.
I'm gonna rip it next, guys.
No,
just leave it.
Okay, I was gonna say I got some weed too.
Oh, some shit. Yeah. Turn the volume down on that one. Man.
Yeah.
We're gonna do a salad bowl, aka more than one weed.
So when you have a salad bowl, right, it's important to get a lot of different terpene profiles, right?
Yeah.
You want to get a little bit more of that fruitiness.
Could you imagine if you're just like a weed head, bro? You break it like salad bowls down to like a science, like the flavor of this weed with the amount so you're like 1 gram of this strain with 3 grams of this strain.
Yeah.
Tastes exactly like this.
I'd love to run into that motherfucker.
That'd be crazy.
Well, does that is Lowell Farms, right? Lowell Farms sells pre-rolls that are like 30%, 20% blends of different strains for a specific effect.
But they go for effect, not flavor.
Yeah, that's true.
So how they're going for effect, and I've seen that with brands before going for a lot more like, oh, we'll do blends for an indica effect or for a more relaxing effect type shit.
Blends just sounds sexy too. It's a blend.
It's a blend.
It's
exotic.
I would love to see like citrus blend, like
blends are so
melon blend, berry blend, like gas blend, skunky blend,
berry blend, and lemon blend,
diesel blend.
Damn, boys, we might be onto something here.
Yeah.
Talking High Culture, we're gonna work. Yeah. We're gonna work on getting our own weed one day.
What it is so the idea
THC strains.
The idea of Talking High Culture. One of the ideas I actually had, it was to design like some type of concierge service, right? So before this became Talking
fancy as fuck, we getting fancier by the minute. Concierge, oh shit, boys.
Well, so before I thought of Talking High Culture as a podcast and as a brand like this, I thought of it as a service where it would be me allocating the flower that would be for a specific effect. So like, let's say you do have a party and you want to promote like a more uplifting specific type of vibe at that party, then I would go and I would aggregate these weeds that these different cannabis strains that would be suitable for your party, for your event, right? And I would be there, I would roll, or I'd have my team there, and we roll blunts, have bongs, have the dab sets. Basically, how like you have an open bar at weddings and stuff like that. Just that, but about weed. I've seen that kind of stuff already go down in that.
Kind of like how they do at venue or like vendor shows and shit, where they have like the dab tasting.
Exactly, just a single booth at your wedding or at your party, at your whatever event you got going on, right? So that's what I had thought of Talking High Culture as a service before. And I had, because of our jobs, it would be, hard to start our own weed brand, like where we create our own strains. So we could design a service where we basically are just allocating that stuff, right? And we show up with that stuff in the areas where it's totally fine to do so, right?
I was thinking
catering service.
Yeah, I was thinking about trying to do something like that. Like me and Daphne talked about that, like for our wedding, like how people have open bars. Like I was thinking about like, hey, like, is there any way we can get like kind of like, open bar and then like, or even if it's like a half and half type shit.
That'd be so fucking.
You know what I mean? Like it's an open bar, but it's like it's it'll be like a little bit shorter, but it's like people can choose between like, all right, come and get a drink, like get it like
A dab.
a dab, or like pick a joint or some shit, like something
Bro,
like that.
that's
Like,
so sick.
Yeah.
sit there, come up, take a little bull pack.
You have your
So-
whole family lit. Just at
Oh, yeah.
wedding.
And
Some
see-
edibles there.
The perfect idea that I thought about this, because I've been wanting an RV for so freaking long, right? Is you rent a little mini RV and it's your mobile office to be able to set up and accommodate something like that, and then you slap your label on the side of that
so
RV.
easy, bro.
Yeah, dude. Right?
You just buy like fucking couple rigs from the smoke shop, come up with just some decent flour, and just set up your shit and just be like, yeah, whatever you guys want, it's right here.
Yeah, and then you just park up at the party, and
Oh
then
my
they can
God.
come in, right? Walk in, take the hits, take the do the whatever, right?
That's
It's
genius.
all in a thing. You know what I mean? Like,
We gotta hop on this now because we're talking about this and somebody else is gonna do this before we're doing it, and we're gonna be like, "Fuck, they did it already."
Exactly.
We have to do this soon.
all you have to do is
So-
have a DD, a designated driver, right?
Yeah.
That
Or-
person is not supposed
Also,
Yeah.
if we can get online and come up with something and trademark it, at least if we have something trademark,
Bro,
then
nice.
nobody else can take that idea or without profiting off
This is
us.
a business plan, bro. This is
Talking
how we're
high
making money.
culture, concierge service,
how we're
or
making
talking
money.
high culture,
Like,
Cannabis catering.
catering.
Yeah.
Talking high culture catering.
Yeah.
because
Cannabis
yeah,
THC cannabis catering.
THC catering.
yeah, we just do
Team-
somewhere. It's like you give us what you want for your event. We'll track down those strains and like that type of flower, those type of concentrates, like edibles for you. Give you like a price back of after what we have to pay for it. Don't charge them for travel or anything like that, or just
No, they pay a flat rate. They pay
Yeah.
a flat rate. They pay like $800 flat rate, and we just pull up with everything.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Really quick.
because we
Top
can
high
we
catering.
can make some shit.
No, so I was thinking, so talking high culture or THC,
Yeah.
TH3C, talking high culture cannabis catering.
TH3C. That sounds cool.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
TH3C.
THC cubed
THC squared.
or squared? No, squared was
Talking high culture catering.
Yeah.
Wait, is squared
No,
is squared
Cube
three or
is
cube
3.
just three?
Yeah.
Talking high culture
Cannabis.
cannabis catering.
And like
THC 3.
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
Dude, that's it.
Yeah. That's sick.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh fuck, boys, we in it.
That's fucking it. Hold on. Apple Notes. Come on. Where you at?
Y'all
dude?
seen me here first, live. None of y'all motherfuckers take that idea. If you want to support it, we will gladly accept any type of like
And
contributions, like ideas. If you want to try to jump in, like you know what I mean, like we're willing to open anyone. You know,
We show up with 3 balls.
we're still early in this shit, so like the people that like view us right now, like we appreciate you guys, all your ideas, all your input. So like we would always like find some way to like give back to like our main people too, like our
Exactly.
supporters. Like it's not like we're just trying to benefit for this for ourselves. Like we love doing it. Yes, we want to kind of like get something from this too for ourselves, but ultimately like being able to do this for ourselves and give back to people that want to support us, like that's making it all come full circle. Like
yes, he
would
has
be
the,
the fucking
he's,
best
on,
shit.
he's on it. That is exactly what it's about. It's about giving back to the community. It's about providing something for the community, right? To be able to participate in while we're at the same time destigmatizing and decriminalizing cannabis. And on that note, I want to go ahead and bring into actually our article to talk about today, right? So give me a little bit of a second while I set that up. So today, let me switch scenes. Let me pull up the article over here. Bam. And sweet. So on marijuanamoment.com, they have a political section, and recently a Colorado panel hears ballot proposals to let marijuana users obtain concealed carry permits, right? And this goes,
Yes.
yes, this goes in hand in hand with the conversation about decriminalization,
That's fair.
reducing the stigma. It's like, hey, look, especially a big state like Colorado, who has a very high, gun ownership population, is very advocate. There's a lot of advocates for that over
Aren't they
there.
like first to like kind of like be like on that like recreational like
Exactly, that
cannabis
too.
like
Right.
on the
So-
forefront?
It's about unifying
Makes
those
sense.
two identities and having like a state identity. It's like if you're talking about people who are who have a sense of patriotism. I know that word's like nobody wants. Yeah, exactly, right. Yeah,
Sorry,
nobody has
I'm
a sense
sorry.
of patriot. Like it's not a thing that you want to.
I'm not laughing at. I like sense of patriotism.
But
Like,
it's not really a thing that you want to be known for anymore, right? And then it's because there's so much disassociation from your state, from your whole country, and unifying your rights in the identity of being like a cannabis user, being a gun owner, and being able to exercise your rights on both together. Just having that basic human right to do so
just
encourages
to feel you can protect yourself, protect your home, like
have the same
you
right
know,
as anybody
like,
else.
Exactly.
It's
like
just that.
that's something that people have had since the fucking dawn of time. You know what I mean? Like you should always have the right to protect your home where you're living, like yourself, your own life. Exactly.
So
There's nothing wrong with that.
to just quickly summarize what this article's talking about, a Colorado group, Guns for Everyone, is a Second Amendment advocacy group that currently offers free classes for people to get concealed carry permits. Right, they're a very popular organization in Colorado, and the nature of the organization allows for them to financially support efforts of laws being changed through ballot entry popular vote. Basically, that just means like they got the money to back people up to say, hey, look, please put this on the ballot, this proposal that we're trying to unify this type of situation. We're trying to rectify this situation. By showing support from a group that is already recognized as a large part of Colorado's state community to help another large part of the state's identity also receive states' rights. In doing so, the stigma for cannabis usage is disassociated from criminal activity. So basically, what I'm trying to say there is that, again, as if once you unify these things and say, hey, look, it's everybody in the state can just exercise these rights and feel free to do this thing, right? It overall relaxes how people view cannabis, how people review the crimes in relation to cannabis, right? It's just like anything else. A person is not having a gun because cannabis is present. It's more of a situation of like they would have that gun regardless because they're here for
whether they're cannabis user or not. Like they just had it on them for pure protection.
yeah, it's your right as an American citizen, you know.
As God fear red blood America.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
sorry, I thought this is America.
So
Fuck yeah.
going into this, they're just basically throwing their money at this situation, and this helps overall destigmatize. And it's one step further in the fight towards making sure everybody can use this recreationally. And then we can start elevating it to a new level past that once it's completely destigmatized. My question for you guys, though, is like because there's so much like criminalization around it, have you guys like you come from Jersey, right? Where in a certain situation you'd get arrested for having a certain amount.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So like,
Oh,
has there ever been a situation, Chris? Was there like you time where you felt criminalized for smoking weed, even if it led up to actual like a criminal charge, right? If you want to share that, but like just for the association of having smoked weed, you were treated as if you were a criminal, or you were treated as if lowly.
I want to say, I've never really felt like. All right, generally where I grew up, I was always kind of treated like scum by like most local cops because I did start having a little bit of reputation with some of them. Not that I was doing anything bad, but like it was mostly
never really associated with cannabis usage, right?
It was never really, yeah. Honestly, I never. All of my run-ins with the law never associated with cannabis usage. All of my cannabis usage, sorry, run-ins came mostly through school, and that was when I was in high school. But even still, I was just like,
tell me a situation about like that, because I think that's just as important to.
all right, all right. I'll bring this up. Actually, okay. So I'm gonna throw it out there. So my older sister, she knew I'd started smoking weed. She smoked weed herself.
Yeah.
This was probably literally like the second or third time I'd ever fucking gotten high too. Like right when I started. You know what I mean?
And what did she do?
And so I skipped first period with my buddy. He lived in the same neighborhood as me. We lived right behind the school, so we were just walk to school. So we're like, we both have gym class anyway. Fuck it. Like, who cares? We'll walk in between periods, sign late. It'll be cool, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, she saw me walking on the sidewalk, like walking up to the school, walking through the front entrance to do proper things, sign in so we could clear our names and shit. Even though
she saw that you were trying to ditch.
But I forgot to sign in anyway, too.
Yeah.
So that's what fucked me up. So she called my mom. My mom called the school. And then like I was like, what the fuck? Like you probably knew I was doing, like you saw me walking to the school, like and you knew I started smoking weed, like so that
She ratted you out
yeah,
for smoking weed.
ratted me out for smoking weed, but yeah, she smoked weed herself. So that was probably the main time I've honestly ever felt victimized for smoking weed. I got ratted out by my own sibling for smoking, but like
It's things like that.
yeah.
That's the things that
Sorry.
no, you're good. You're good.
Good to come here.
Yeah, that's the thing that I want to get into. It's situations like that where we feel. Look, in this situation where weed is not the inherently bad portion of that scenario, right? It's the other type of area in that environment, right, that caused that situation to take place. And a lot of times, somebody would look at that situation and be like, "See, weed was involved. That's the reason why, right? Just the fact that weed was present, right? And that's not the situation,
Yeah.
right?
And like I wasn't trying to like do anything wrong. Like I was just starting to experiment with the shit. Like, you know, it's not like I was trying to like skip my whole school day or ruin everything. Like I was still trying to finish.
enjoy.
I was still trying to finish my day. I was going to go to school. It was fucking 7 something in the morning. God damn, like
There was a time
you know
in high school.
what the fuck, bro?
Uh,
And then later, like I've smoked weed with her, like later down the line too. That's what pissed me off more.
I like to hear that.
About that situation. That's what still pissed me off about that, honestly.
I was criminalized in high school too, or for smoking weed. That's why I asked further.
Yeah,
about
I still remember when if you smoked weed, you were kind of like a loser.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were looked at like a dirtbag a little bit for a bit,
I
like
remember that shit. The
You were-
stoners were like
yeah.
the losers.
you were looked at like a burn, like yeah, you're
A
part of
burnout.
burnout crew, like stoner crew. You were looked at like a dirtbag.
But then I knew some kids in high school that were like hella good athletes that smoked weed, and I was like,
but they don't.
that's weird.
But they only do it with you like on the down low, or like some like the
Yeah.
preppy girls and
Yeah.
shit. Like they'd be willing to fuck with you and like hang out and like hook up with you, but only if it was like just you and them. You made sure nobody knew type shit.
Exactly.
Like yeah.
if she smokes.
Sure. Luckily, I never had no fucking like I never got like looked at like that. I never had any issues like with weed or
Well, lucky freaking you.
yeah.
No, I've had in high school too. There was a time where I was just having a bad day, right? And something similar where I was just trying to walk off the campus for a little bit, take a quick hit before school, right? Come right back. And then we got pulled over by the what you call it, security guard or whatever, like in the golf
School
cart.
security.
Yeah, exactly. Right? And then homeboy who next to me who had the flower, right? He was like, "Oh, what?" Our security guard was like, "What you got in your pocket?" Right? And he's like, "It's just an iPod." He's like, "Let me see." Right?
Mhm.
And he ruffles through his pockets like a little bit to pull out the iPod, right? And he's just like, "You got something else in there, right?" Like pulls it out, right? No, he pulled it out, right? And then once we were taken to the office and everything, everything, all the paperwork was being filled out.
Mhm.
The other security guard, the one that actually like knows my parents and stuff like that, he pulled me into the office to like set him aside. He's like, "You're a good kid. Like, why are
The good kid
yeah,
speech?
why are you doing this? Like,
Oh
what
my
is up?
God.
Like this and this." And I'm just like, I'm just trying to like, I'm just having a bad day. Like, like that's all this
That was
is.
your excuse. for
Yeah,
that?
like I'm just having a
That's a
bad
nice
day,
pull. That's a nice pull.
right? Like,
That's hella funny.
like that's literally like that was my story, and I said, well, that's what it was, right? It's like I really, right? But like I didn't know what else to say except like I'm just having a bad day, right?
Mhm.
And they were like, "You can't be doing this, right?" And then the cops got involved, and then everything. Like when they called the cops, I was like, "Is it really need to get to like this point, right?"
Yeah.
And at this point, like I don't
Where'd
even
you
know
get
if
the weed from?
I don't even know if my parents had been contacted by the time the cops got there.
Yeah.
Right?
Where'd you get the weed?
And yeah, it was that they were asking him that, right? Because I was just there by association, right?
I was just
But like,
smoking it. I don't know.
yeah, like exactly. We hadn't even smoked it. We hadn't even stepped off campus yet before we got caught. And I was just like, if this is my situation,
Yeah, I didn't even get to go smoke.
yeah,
dude.
exactly. It's like, why am I ever gonna want to like engage like in this situation?
It gets like this
right?
every time.
Exactly. So then I ended up just being smart about it and doing it differently, right? And, like just doing it later, right? Or doing it earlier. If I really wanted to do it before school, then I would just do it like literally before before I even get to campus. I'd walk to school that day. I'd be like, all right, let me go out and walk the train tracks real quick.
Be lit as shit.
Be fucking lit as shit. There was one day that I was so lit, right, that I was like, did I hear the train? No, I didn't hear the train. And I turned back. I was like, no train, right? And then I see that ding, 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 ding. I was like, fucking heard the train. Where's it at, right? And I got down enough, and I was like, I kept scooting farther back, and I was like, what if a rock flies out and fucking just kills me right here,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, I just kept scooting back, and next thing you know, I'm like so far back that there's no way that a rock's gonna hit me, right? But I'm just like, I'm just waiting for this thing to pass. The thing passes, right? Goes, and then I'm passing through, and I'm like, where the fuck am I? like I'm just like waiting, right? Like for like why am I waiting for the train to pass?
Yeah.
I got to school like 30 minutes late. So I was like, what the fuck, dude?
That's all that.
All for that.
That's all.
And you know, so speaking of showing up late, I've also been to work late a couple of times. You know, not our work, right? But
We've all been.
You know,
late.
my very first job. And some employers, you know, they'll go ahead and just fire you just for knowing that you do it on your off time, right? Yeah. Have you guys ever been in a situation where you felt like in a work environment, maybe not even work, just like you were excluded just for like smoking weed? Like, hey, look, like you're someone who smokes weed, so you can't do this thing.
No,
No.
because most of my employers, like, not that I was like open about it, but like there was times it was pretty open and obvious. I was like a stone of shit, like walking into a job, but I've always been able to perform.
Same. Yeah.
And excel.
Same.
So like it's never really been a problem. Like I've always been able to like be functional.
Now, do you feel like in a situation where maybe even younger, again, kind of going back to the high school stuff, where that might have excluded you in a time during then, where because again, we were talking about like the stoners, right? Like how we're viewed in a specific way, and then the burnouts, right? Or do you feel like that was a type of exclusion to you, or did it really never really matter? Because I mean, some people it never really matters.
I didn't smoke like that in high school, so I mean, I smoked a couple of times, but I wasn't like a consistent smoker.
Yeah.
So I didn't start smoking consistently, like stoner, like until I was 23. So
You were already full adult.
yeah, I was an adult.
I
I think me and Chris are the ones that started a lot younger, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I graduated pretty quick to like other shit. So like it wasn't just weed that like excluded me from certain crowds. Like I did experiment a little with a lot of other stuff.
So that just goes to show you that as far as like personal experience goes, it's never really the cannabis that's the thing that excludes us, right? It's more about like the stigma around it, right? It's more what other people would perceive to be like, hey, look, let's take a drug test, for example, right? There's a lot of jobs where not necessarily required to not be like to not be stoned, right? Like just sitting behind a computer. Yet the employer will still be like, hey, look, weed's on your test. Sorry, we're not gonna hire you.
Bro, I had to use a fucking Wizinator four times for 4 different jobs, and it worked every time. But it was funny is like they could just tell like that I smoked weed. Like I know my employers were like, that guy definitely fucking smokes weed. But like Chris said, I would smoke weed before work and I go to work high, but I'd still be able to do my job really well. So they knew I smoked weed, and somehow I passed the drug test. But I'm a good worker, so I kind of get this pass. Where they're like, yeah, he's good, like whatever, like we're gonna let him do him. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't know. And a lot of my employers, like when I first started smoking weed, I was working overnight shifts at a warehouse. And just there, it was known that everybody that worked that shift had like some vice. Like they were like drinking or smoking or doing coke or doing pills or some shit. So it wasn't like for like 3 years of my like weed, my first like weed smoking days. I was around people that it was just okay. So I never had no like fucking issues with smoking weed at work or anything like that. Even like my more recent jobs, like I'm like it's pretty well known that I fucking smoke weed, and nobody like asks about it, but they just know, and then I just still work. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah. Well, that's the benefit about being here in California, I feel, right? So when I was thinking about asking these questions, you know, it was really to highlight that I don't feel like we really do have those experiences, but I know that that's not congruent with like the rest of the country, right? Like when I see stuff online and other people's experiences, you know, they're having a lot more of a tougher time, you know. And with us, we're very blessed to be here in the California market. You know what I mean? just being California sober is literally described as being just smoking weed. You know what I mean? Um, in that situation, especially for all of us that really not feeling like the exclusion, only when it really came to like during the extremely no times, like in a younger version of high school, you know, I think as adults, it's important to realize that we're on a new side of things. And we're the ones to push for the destigmatization, you know, by doing things like this, right? You can have a podcast about anything nowadays, you know, and I think having a podcast about cannabis and cannabis culture and how it can, you know, help and benefit people in many different ways, and having these open and honest conversations, push it forward.
Yeah.
Right. And it's all about just pushing the dialogue forward and making sure like people know, like, hey, look, like this is how it really is. You know, some people view it as particular way.
It's not bad, no. It's yes, good, yes.
Yeah, you know, when you need it, you know, like when it comes to us, it's like that's not the thing that made us feel excluded. That's not the thing that got us into those negative situations, right? It's the other stuff, right? It's other environmental factors, I'd say.
Yeah.
Right, just to keep it brief. And I think to go on that note, was there ever any time where you felt like your cannabis usage just had to go? Right.
Yeah, more. It wasn't. It was just more to the effect of like my lung health. Like what has the smoke inhalation over the consistent smoke inhalation over the years done to my lungs?
Yeah.
And would I feel better if I stopped? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like obviously I feel better, but like, you know, like that's my biggest thing with stopping smoking is what like the effect it's gonna have on my lungs.
Definitely the effect that smoking has on the body overall is, I think, the only thing that really would make anybody consider to stop. You know, is like, what's this gonna do to my lungs? What's this gonna do to my teeth? Because smoking a lot of, you know, cigarettes and stuff like that, that's known to have an effect on the teeth. And I imagine that, you know, smoking a lot of joints and blunts might have a similar effect. You know, it's yet to be seen about vapes and stuff, but you know, who knows? You know.
Not good. It's not natural.
Yeah, it's not natural, right? So that's the thing too. I think the best way, quote unquote, best way of going about it would be to vaporize your flower, you know, like an herbal vaporizer, something like, you know, the Dynavape that I
just don't get into smoking flower and just eat edibles and you'll be.
Or yeah, just straight up edibles, you know, liquid edibles if you can, honestly. Right?
Don't smoke any flower and only ingest edibles, like rarely, and it'll work.
Microdose, you know. Yeah. Honestly, if I could go ahead and take a tolerance break to like kind of reset myself, I'd probably start back up microdosing edibles. Right? I'd probably just go on like the liquids too, the 1,000 milligram syrup, something like that. Put it in the mixed drink and just kind of cruise my day, you know. And does that be my thing?
But then you have to consistently buy fucking liquid edibles all the time because that's like your main intake. You have to like wean yourself off with that shit.
Yeah, I have I'll have a mini fridge just filled with the same freaking product.
One fridge, there's 60 of these little fucking THC 100 milligrams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let it cruise throughout the day. You know.
My problem is like I've gotten to the point where it affects my sleep and my my appetite if I don't. Did you know that cannabis like has an effect on the stomach, and there's like a name for it? But
yes, we've talked about it here on the podcast.
Yeah, I fucking have that shit, bro. Because like I usually like it used to be different. Like when I would smoke, I'd get the munchies and like want to eat. Now when I smoke, I don't want to eat. So like I'll make food and I'll smoke and I'll like let my food sit there and like have to reheat it because I'm just like not. I don't know. I'm just not. Food just doesn't sound good right then and there. You know what I'm saying?
Now in a situation where you're smoking a lot like tonight, the next morning in the bathroom, is it bubble guts?
No,
not necessarily.
Really. No.
Okay, then I think we're thinking of two different THC things from the stomach.
Yeah.
Right. But there's one where it's basically symptoms similar to IBS, but it's not IBS, but it's induced by cannabis, right? And I think the other one that he's referring to is the one where it just kind of just messes up the regularity of like your gut, but it's like your gut clock kind of thing, right? And it sucks, you know, that there is an overconsumption, right? And while there's not like an overdose, right, there is a point where you can kind of do a little too much to damage your body, right? And it's all about moderation and everything. You know,
Yeah.
we're kind of smoking excessive, but look, we're all having honest conversations about being conscious about our health and trying to reduce or trying to find the best balance for it, trying to find that best moderation.
This is kind of dramatic, but I was out of state for a while one time, and the the second night I was there, I had no weed and I didn't smoke that whole day. I didn't sleep the whole night. I laid in the bed
Damn.
and I just laid there looking out the window until fucking I had to get up and go to work. I maybe slept for like 45 minutes, and that was the worst, one of the worst days I've ever had.
You sweat it out, huh?
Yeah, and I was mad because I was just like, wow, I really didn't fucking sleep at all because I didn't smoke any weed, and now I'm here after work 8 hours and I'm fucking exhausted.
Yeah.
My mind was so tired that I like was just mad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I was like, I fucking hate this, dude.
Yeah,
This
you
sucks.
were mad probably.
I was
you
shutting
having
down.
weed. Yeah,
I was literally shutting down. I was like, this sucks, dude.
it was a withdrawal symptom.
Yeah.
You know, and I wouldn't say it's dramatic. I mean, our bodies do respond to it. You're
There's just one day I was just like, fucking, if I don't smoke for one day, I can't sleep. That's so like pretty fucking dramatic to me, but it is.
It happens. It happened. Yeah,
When you smoke consistently for X amount of years, this is what happens.
Yeah, you form a dependency.
It is what it is.
Yeah. I think it's pretty interesting overall how our bodies do that. There was something that you had said that I want to let me rewind it in my brain a little bit. It was oh my god, I'm losing a fucking eye. Fuck. No, oh my god.
They'll come back to you.
You were talking about not having it, right? And I just brought up the withdrawal syndrome, but that wasn't the thing that I was thinking of. It not having it for one day. You said you were out of state. Was that the thing?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Wait, was it just the one day that you didn't have it? Like you could have had it the next day?
I think so. I think I made it apparent that I had to go get weed somewhere that next day because I was like, I told my family member, I was like, yo, I need to go get weed, and he was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah, bro, I can't sleep unless I smoke. Like I have to go get some. And he was like, okay, and like let me go get some. So that one day wasn't like it was like I knew I was gonna have a shitty night that night again. And I was like, I don't want to fucking go through that again, bro, and not sleep and be all fucking fucked up that day. So I was like, I need to go get weed. So I went and got weed that very next day.
I think, well, so in terms of me, I can't remember the last time I smoked before bed.
There was a time where I went like 3 days just because I was like, I'm gonna take a tolerance break because I wanted to get stupid high again and like watch movies because that sounded hella fun.
That's always fun.
It's so fun. When you first start smoking weed and you get like really fucking high, and watching movies really fucking high is like the funnest shit in the world to me, dude. I love it so much. And so I was like, I want to do that again. And so I was like, I'm gonna take a tolerance break. I didn't smoke for 3 days, and then by the third day, I was like, fuck it, bro. I gotta start smoking again. And I didn't get any a more like drastically noticeable high from not smoking for just 3 days. Like I was still getting the same high. I was like, damn, 3 days didn't do shit.
You need a little bit more than that. That's my fear is taking like a week break or taking like a 2-week break and then going right back to it and be like still like not. I'm like, damn, like. But I know that I just got to take it back because, you know, like we said, it takes a toll on the body. We're trying to be more health conscious. I mean, look, we all got our waters, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I worked out this morning, yo.
There you go.
Right. I have, 15-pound dumbbells, right? And I realized, like, exactly how to shit. I did 3 sets of 15, right? On, bicep curls and then the laterals, right? And then it's like this.
Tricep extension.
Exactly that, right? And by the end of that, like I'm dying right now, honestly, right? And then with the with the squats, I did fucking 62 squats, bro.
There you go.
I was like, shit, man, like that's as much as I could put. So my thighs are on fucking fire.
Yeah,
they did.
They're tired. They're sore.
Yeah, I was like, oh shit,
I feel that.
And then when I got out the shower later on in the day, I was like, fuck.
I'm sore right now. I went snowboarding yesterday.
Yeah, that'll take a toll on the whole body too.
My whole body hurts.
I want to go swimming in the summer. There are dogs, if you can't hear them.
And they're going
off.
crazy right now.
Yeah, I really think that we hit the nail on the head with the concierge service thing, though. The catering.
Gotta get on that.
Yeah.
That's an easy way to make money.
Shoot.
It's only like maybe $1,000 combined to fucking get all this shit for it, and then we just gotta figure out how. Well, no, when they pay the flat rate, that's how we go get the cannabis. We get the cannabis with that money,
That's it.
and then we.
That's in. Yeah, it's involved in that, and then our service
Yeah.
fees and our payouts.
Exactly.
All right. The RV is the thing. The RV is.
It can just be a car. It can be fucking a car, right?
Yeah.
It's
We just need an actual booth, like a table.
a table, some little decorations, some with our label, and just all this
Kind of
shit on top of the fucking
Fuck,
thing.
I forgot all about Japanese food and shit.
True.
I was like, oh fuck, it was in the crave. I was like, oh shit. My bad. Sorry to interrupt.
You're good. You're good. I didn't realize that my computer was not plugged in. It's fine. Everything will still continue running. But I'm gonna plug it in anyways. That's my water. Chris, you want to switch it over to the Switch?
Yeah.
With the HDMI. We're gonna go ahead and switch over to gaming now. So while I go ahead
Sorry.
and no, you're good. You're good. All right. Podcast game. And then
Just gotta pick up the controller. Turn the switch on.
It's lit, dog.
there was something. I am so high that I already forgot in the middle of what I was doing.
I'm high as shit.
Yeah.
That damn fucking.
Yeah, I'm lit right now too. I packed this bowl. I'm just looking at it, just waiting to hit it.
All right, yo.
It's fucked up.
Um.
Are you drinking?
Okay.
Are you drinking? No, it's not.
Oh yeah.